Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 10 Modded Minecraft, where today I'm over in my little automation room because I've been actually doing a little bit of work over here after having worked on the colony for 6 episodes. That's off in the distance, but we're not going to go visit them today unless absolutely necessary. But being over in the colony did bring up one big issue that I have been having while I'm over here, and that is I constantly need to sleep. Like, I keep having to set the time today for some of the clips, and then the time lapses over there in the colony also caused some issues. So it's just like, yeah, I really need it to be day all the time. Now, thankfully, Ars Nouveau, a mod we've gotten into a little bit, actually has what's called a tablet of sunlight. Is it sunlight or sunrise? Sunrise. As it says, a tablet used for rituals, consume on use. But it says, sets time to day. That's awesome. There's also this ritual can change the weather at a moment's notice. By default, this ritual will set the weather to clear. That's what we want, but that'll be for later. There's another whole rigmarole I gotta set up for that. But then there's also the tabular moonfall, which sets the time to night. But we just want the day all the time. So what I've done is I've set up this little contraption. Oh, hey, my world is 19 gigs. Fun. I've set up this little contraption, which is the Ritual Brazier, which is going to be receiving the Tablets of Sunrise via the AE system. But the modular router will right-click it into here, and then a redstone pulse will actually activate the ritual so that it just goes off. Now, how does all this even work? Well, if you look over here, I got a couple comparators. One that's getting a redstone signal of 7, and one that's not receiving a redstone signal right now. So this guy, what it does is it reads off this and says, hey, output a signal of 7 to this. Now this comparator, when receiving a signal from the side, says, hey, I can't output a signal until my power level is at least 7. And why 7 specifically? Because when this daylight detector sees that the sun has gone down just low enough to 7, that's when all of my colonists should be in bed. They should all be in bed by power level 7. So when it reaches level 7, it'll then come down in here. It'll say, oh, I need to be 7. Cool, I can output. And then outputs, say, this pulse repeater, because we only need this guy to run once, and it is set to be pulsed. So it'll pulse once, and it'll be like, okay, put the ritual in. The ritual will then wait for activation. 10 seconds later, and the activation will come through. That's just in case of any stragglers. And then it becomes day. So we can actually kind of see that happening here in a moment, because it actually is getting to be nighttime already. Fun. But yeah, I believe it's right here. I was right on the money. So let's actually watch this when it becomes night. Oop, I need to plug that back in. When it becomes nighttime, we should see all of this actually happen. And there we go. We've got daylight once more. Although it does set it a lot higher in the day than I'd like, because like it sets it to like right here, and that's after the morning. But it's fine. It only like cuts out the day by like 3 minutes, I think it is. But you know what? For the fact that I have this automated, I'm not gonna complain. So, yeah, we now have permaday thanks to AE modular routers create and Ars Nouveau. So, now it's time to get on with the mechanism. Alrighty, here we are over at the mechanism platform, and a couple things have changed. You might notice that there's a second tank. So surprising. Yeah, no, this has changed. Okay, so yeah, I decided to increase. Yes, two were producing a lot, but looking up for the max size reactor, I was going to need a lot more. So I decided, you know what, let's just make it the full length of the platform. It's not quite exactly the full length because, you know, they have to have these gaps. Yeah, they have to have these gaps, otherwise the blocks wouldn't form correctly because of, you know, these. There's a little bit of Z fighting up here, but you know what? They don't actually interfere with one another. It's just graphical. But we have 9 towers, and they all produce anywhere from 2,400 at its lowest, I believe, and 2,000 at its lowest, 2,800 at its highest, so an average of 2,400. So yeah, each of these are making 2,400 millibuckets of brine, which are then being converted into sodium. Now you can hear the machines roaring away. They've been moved downstairs, and we are storing all of our sodium into a dynamic tank, and it's going up pretty quickly. Now you'll also be able to see that most of these tanks, or the evaporators, are empty except for like this last one. So we're like one machine shy of making, like, producing and converting brine to sodium. So all these guys are down over here. They're bringing brine in, turning it into sodium and chlorine, and then sending the sodium up and just dumping all the excess chlorine. I won't lie, this took a minute to get all these kind of set up properly because mechanism can be a little weird sometimes, especially with conflicting mods, like the power mod. If the power system on the back here isn't selected first, then this will and won't connect. It'll show like an outline, like whenever you highlight it, you can see that outer line. It'll show that right here, but it won't actually be connected. So this doesn't recognize, oh, I have a connection, but this is like, yeah, you kind of do though. You have to fix it in here, but if you fix it in here after that, it still won't work. So it's like, so you just have to block update it. But yeah, I think I might add another electrolytic later on, but what I actually want to do now is I want to start storing the fissile fuel. Now, I'm storing a ton of sodium over there, and this is what, 16 million between these two tanks, and then I can have even more. So yeah, that sounds like a good idea. However, the smallest one you can make of that is a 3x3x3, and the largest you can make is an 18x18x18. I think I'm gonna go with a 3x3x3, or that, or a 5x5x5, because it's getting nighttime. Because the the sulfur intake is still a bottleneck. We are still not producing sulfur fast enough for these guys to run at 100% efficiency. That's not really too much of an issue. We're only going to use like maybe 1,000 buckets a tick, or 1,000 buckets, 1,000 millibuckets a tick, maybe 2,000. So it's enough for what we need. I just want to have stored excess. So yeah, but we also have 3,609 sulfur. We got a lot of sulfur in reserve. I've let it run for where to go. Oh, I pressed E. Yeah, we've let it run for a while on its own, so it's built up, so it should handle it just fine. But enough rambling, let's actually get to making the dynamic tank for our fuel. So all we need is just this little amount for the smallest size, but we're going to need the tank, which is just a little bit of steel in a bucket, the valve, which is tanks and a basic control circuit, and then either structural glass or reactor glass. It doesn't matter which. I just went with structural because steel and glass. Easy. So we're just gonna plop this bad boy probably right here next to it. That way we're storing it, you know, somewhere close by. And we are going to, like I said, just make the smallest size, which is just a small little bitty cube. We're going to put an input and an output on one side, and then on the other, we have that. Yep, it is now the smallest one, and it still holds an outrageous amount. 432 million millibuckets? For conversion, that's... just take these off, and that's how many buckets. 432,000 buckets. Yeah, that'll hold us over. And this one holds 5 million or billion buckets. Yeah. This is a 7x7. That's a 3x3. It's only 4 blocks difference, and it holds that much. But we do want to take one of these tanks. Actually, we can take both the tanks because this is full as well. Pop it on the side here, and then output, and it should, yep, it just goes right in. And look, just that little bit is just a sliver on it. You can just barely see it. So we then pop this other one on and output it again, and there we go. 16 out of 432,000. And now you can actually start to see the fuel. I thought I would have to actually make a bigger one, but I think this smallest one is going to be just the right size. Alright, so we are again going to continue to use laser I/O just because it's probably the easiest. Well, it's not the easiest, but it is like what we've been using. So we have a laser node connected to a laser connector right below here, and then we just strung them along to get it over to here. And we want to, on this side, which is apparently the east, take a chemical card, right click it, extract, and we can overclock this, and it should, yeah, this is going to go up to 240,000. I will do that later, so we'll only do 40,000 every tick. And there. So now it's overclocked and it's ready to go. It's shooting to the middle of the block. I forgot it did that. But now we go over to this guy, and it's on the south side. We just stick an insert, and we hear the machines kick on, and we start seeing this filling up. Oh, we see it filling up quick, too. Oh, yeah, it going. It going. Now, again, our sulfur is what is holding us back. The sulfur dioxide. That is our only holdup. But, you know what? I don't care. It's working. So, next up, we actually need to get in... well, a couple different things. We need to get in A, the fission reactor. We need to get in B, the turbines, and C, the boiler. Now, I think, like, there's a lot of room still here on this platform because we've only taken up this little bit and this little bit. So we might want to put the boiler here, but the turbines, I'm not too sure about. And the fission reactor, we definitely are not keeping here. Because should that thing overheat, should it get damaged, should anything happen to that, it will explode. You heard me right. It will explode. And when it explodes, it leaks radiation into the entire world. And yeah, well, I say the entire world. It leaks radiation into your world in a set distance, but it's a huge distance. And that radiation will absolutely, you know, take me out. And more importantly, take out my villagers. And I've spent so much time on those guys, I'm not allowing them go out. So, we are actually going to use, if we remember this, we're going to use the mining dimension. If y'all remember this area, we've actually been mining out a little area of quite literally the mining dimension. This has been turned off for a little while now. And there's nothing in here. Everything's gone through the chest and whatnot, and there's still some floating pieces of aluminium, but we're generating that. But this is a safe dimension outside of my regular world that I can store the fission reactor and get to it at any time I want, just in case, you know, radiation leaks, it pops, we're safe. The radiation will be contained in here, not the overworld, and then I can come in with a radiation suit. So this radiation suit will actually be very, very helpful if anything does happen. So let's go ahead and get some of the materials needed for our other machines. Okay, so I have picked out a little spot here on the mechanism platform to actually build our first machine in the many machines we're going to need. I say having already built many machines and many things already. But one of the crucial, critical... Oh, hey, hi there. One of the main crucial, critical machines, and that is Ziboela. And you can see other stuff has finished auto-crafting. Yeah. So, we are making the max size boiler. We should only need the one. So, it's going to be a 18 by 18, and that's what this is. At least it should be. Where's my measuring tape? This is... Show me my numbers. Yeah, 18 by 18. So, we're all good. So, we can actually make this a little easier on ourselves by just replacing the corners with these. And hopefully not breaking them too fast, because if I break things too fast, I end up breaking the floor. Like that. But, it's fine. It's fine. And then just plop that down, and then we can take our building gadget and right click, or shift right click, and then do this, do this, do this, do this, and then just go along the back line. Boop, 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 boop. Pretty easy, right? Right. Well, now we have to go up 17 blocks because it's an 18 by 18 by 18. So now we need to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He's a big boy. He's a very big boy. But again, we can just do... Did I place that in the right spot? I placed it in the right spot. Just do this. And once all the blocks are completely in, we can just do what we did down there. And finish up building the top and bottom. Am I really about to run out of blocks? I ran out of blocks? I did the numbers. I did the math. I am apparently bad at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was shy 8 blocks. Really? Boiler. Oh, wait, no, not 8. Just give me. There we go. First try. Yay. Now, we really only need the top and the bottom to be solid for boiler casings. The rest is actually just going to be structural glass. So this actually should be a little bit easier to do. And I hope I did the numbers on this right, because apparently I didn't do them right earlier. Hey, I said hello. Hello. Wait, does it not? It does not like structural glass. Fun, I have to place all these in manually. Be right back. And after a ton of placing, I couldn't. Shut up, phone. I couldn't even use the sticks from construction sticks to place the stuff down, so I had to do it all manually. So that sucks. But it's whatever. It's done. It's done. So now we can actually start placing other things in. We don't want to place in our valves just yet, but we have 9 for the input, 9 for an output, and 4 for another output. So the boiler will be taking the superheated sodium. It will then be cooling. Oh, I think I might be dumb. I think I forgot about water. Either way, we'll be taking the... Yeah, I did forget water. Damn it. We've going to be taking the superheated sodium, which the sodium is going to go into the fission reactor. Fission reactor is going to create energy, and then it's going to create other stuff. Yeah, and it's going to superheat the sodium, which is going to act as a coolant for that. So we take that superheated stuff, we put it in here, and then we cool it down. The boiler will cool down the heated sodium back to regular sodium. The regular sodium is then going to be piped back into here, so that way we're all good on, the buffer stays buffering. We'll have the steam coming out one side, then that will be piped into our turbines, which will then generate power. And then this is where we'll be inputting the superheated. So input, output, input, and if I need water, another thing of water, then I guess I'm gonna have to have another side for that. I guess I'm gonna put water on the backside here, which means I think I should probably make a few more valves. But in the meantime, we want to get the superheating elements and the pressure dispersers. Now, these pressure dispersers are... Oh, hang on. Sorry about that. Somebody was at my door. We're going to be having the superheating elements and the pressure dispersers. And the pressure dispersers are going to be near the top, and the superheating elements are going to be actually right here at the bottom. So they will literally just line the bottom, and if we have the netherite stick, still can't do it. But will the builder's gadget do it? Where is my builder's gadget? There you are. Hey, this one will do it. This one will actually do it. That's nice. Thank you for not being a butt. So we just place these bad boys in all along here. And done. And you can see they actually have an interconnected pattern to where they just kind of loop in on themselves. And then we basically do the same thing with the pressure dispersers about 5 blocks from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hopefully Builder's Gadget. Builder's Gadget. Oh, it's so nice when things work out the way you want them to. Although I actually need to do it this way because I can't see otherwise. Boop ba-doop 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 ba-doop. What am I stuck on? Oh, edge of a block. Boop ba-doop ba-doop ba-doop. Ah, dang it. Boop. How did I manage to do that twice in a row? And there we go. Except I think I need to do this last row from probably over here. Yep. There we are. Ooh, laggy. So, down here will be the water. The sodium will actually be going technically through that, and then the steam will be building up here. So actually, I might want to change places of some of this structural glass. Yeah, hang on. Give me 1 second to rethink this. Okay, I think I got this figured out how I want to do it now. So we are going to be taking the sodium in there, out there. It'll go over here into the buffer. We'll be putting water in right there, and the steam out right there. And once we put these valves in like this, we should actually see the whole multi-block complete. But we are actually going to want the configurator. Okay, I can't change these just yet. Oh no, there we go. There we go. You can see input only. So we were inputting the coolant, or inputting the superheated sodium. Then we output here. Output steam. No, we want output coolant. Output coolant. And then up here, we're going to output the steam, because this is where steam will rise. Gimme. Thank you. So right click, output steam. And then this one is just going to be another input. So we just do that. And you see in the red particles, so that means this is a fully realized structure. So yep, we will put in superheated, we'll put in water, we will get out steam and get out the cooled sodium. So I could technically hook up pipes in between here, but I also don't want to lose that. I might have to shut this system off real quick just so I can get another pipe system run in, because we have to output from here into the reactor and then input into here. Yeah. Fun. Alrighty, we got the pipes actually hooked up to where the coolant will actually be able to make it in, and we'll still be able to pipe in and out from these guys and then out from this guy. So yeah, that's all hooked up now. This was a lot of sodium to actually have, and in the time that I've actually I've been doing a couple things off camera for the Lunar Bay series, and just doing a couple things over there, and it's already doubled what I had to move. So if I had to move this amount, I'd be upset, because it was about 266 million things of sodium, and it's now at 478 million things of sodium. Yeah, it took me 26 chemical tanks, right? Chemical tanks? Yeah, it took me 26 of these to actually get it. I had a couple still in my inventory, so yeah, that's why there's 32. But yeah, it took me 26 of them to move everything I had. But it is moved. I've even... shut up! I even hooked up water into the boiler, so we're good to go. And I don't know. I don't remember these pipes actually being this good. But I hooked up sinks to these guys, and this filled up pretty quickly. Like only a couple seconds it took to fill this up all the way. And I remember this taking forever. But if we look at the actual pipes, yeah, it says it's a pump rate of 32 buckets a tick. I feel like that was nerfed in another pack, or this pack has got it boosted. I don't know. But it is ready to start receiving superheated and export steam. But that's going to be next time, because we're all out of time for today. But this is where we're actually going to be going next. I've created a couple of hazmat suits. Shut up, phone. Shut up, phone. I created a couple of hazmat suits because, yeah, if the fission reactor actually does explode, we're going to want these. And I've learned from past experience, always make two. But I then have a warp plate that we're going to take all the way out to the mining dimension. And this area, it's about 5,000 or so blocks from the other stuff. And this should be good enough to actually, like, be significantly far away, not cause problems over there. And I've got this area claimed and chunk loaded. So, next time we will be building our reactors and turbines out here. I hope you're looking forward to that. I've been Dorkman191, and this has been All the Mods 10 Modded Minecraft. Bye, y'all.